What is the New Spirituality? By Neil Donald Walsh. February 12, 2016. We are embarking on a period during which humanity creates a new understanding of who God is and what God wants. You and I will be creating this together in the coming days, months and years. These are the days of the new spirituality, and they are already here. It's just a question of expansion of this energy. The amazing book, What God Wants, I was told that we can look for during this period. I was particularly interested in the theme of death, because I believe that the fear of death, and the possible wrath of God after death, is what creates so much dysfunction in our lives. What God Wants says that when we create our new understanding of God, in the days of the new spirituality, humans will understand that there is no death. They know that our opportunity to learn and evolve never ends and that the time to be rewarded or punished for the way we live our lives will never come, because life is not a proposition of reward and punishment, but rather a process of evolution, expansion, self-expression, self-creation and continuous and endless self-realization. Death will be understood as simple and only a transition, a glorious change in the experience of the soul, a change in our level of consciousness, a freedom of delivery, the release of pain, an expansion of consciousness in the eternal process of evolution. One result of this teaching, many people know that death is not something to be feared, but a wonderful part of this beautiful experience called life. People will talk about death freely and without breaking sadness. People do not feel compelled to cling to life when they are suffering and dying because they know that there is no reason to cling to the only thing that exists. The endless suffering, at the conclusion of their time in a physical form is no longer required as a matter of spiritual integrity, no more than is required of other life forms. This does not mean the end of life as a means of escape from particular difficulties or sadness will either be encouraged. It should be understood that life in the current physical form is a wonderful gift, but it will be understood at the deepest level that can be used, so we experience who we really are. In this and many other ways, the personal lives are remarkably different when humans create a new spirituality. Imagine the personal relationships with all others that are not based on need, but that arise deeper personal fulfillment experience, personal power and personal of higher thought expression on yourself and others residing within each. Imagine the romance emanating from the thought that you cannot live without someone, but the awareness that the expression and experience of yourself fuller, higher and grander does not depend on anyone, but that enriches each person whose life you play immensely, allowing you to truly love from a donation of space. Imagine a career and a job that is more joy and celebration of the highest and best in you, and the happiest experience of who you are. Imagine a life without the fear of God and without guilt on lesser offense than you might think as the rules of God. Imagine the freedom of the soul, mind and body that would be experienced when you finally realize that it is really one with God. Imagine the power that would experience, the power to create the life of your dreams and help others create them. Imagine the end of the frustrations, anxieties and worries about tomorrow, not to speak of sadness and unpleasant feelings. It cannot be moved by things that happened yesterday, when you realize that nothing can go wrong, that all things are perfect, so like you, that God does not require anything different from you, but exactly what you are being, exactly what you are doing and what we are having now. Finally, imagine experiencing the respect and admiration for life, expressing itself through you, like you, in your times of day-to-day, because of His conscience wonderful expansion. This is just a taste of what life might be in the days of the new spirituality, and you do not have to wait for all mankind create this experience collectively. Everybody can start creating it individually for themselves and the lives of those whose lives they touch. This is actually what life invites you to do. This is what God is calling you to do now. With love, Neil.